fixed. It looked amazing. I priced it, like, I'm not even going to say how much it was because it's ridiculously cheap. Because I was still like in the like, please just anyone buy something. I set it all up, and I set it up as a standalone, so you could just buy one course and walk away, and I would like never see them again. And then only at that point, when I'd done all that work, did I run the numbers and think I would have to sell thousands of these every month, or every few months to make this work. This is a terrible idea. So I never put it live. I got it as far as like, oh wow, I was ready to make money from it, but thankfully I realized like I've made a terrible mistake and this isn't going to work. So I didn't ever put it live, and then I left it for a few months to recover from the trauma of working so hard on something that was not going to work, and then decided to do it as a monthly club. But the technical platform that I set it up for wasn't really very well suited to the idea, so then we had to build something completely different on MemberPress. Oh my goodness. This Christmas I was like, this isn't working for me either, and I don't like this platform, and so I moved it all over to Thinkific. So this is my third platform structure, and this is it now. It's third time lucky. I've learned a lot. I really like how it's set up this time, and I'm really open about sharing that with people, because I have read so many success stories where people, like, I don't know, they got really relaxed and meditated and had this great idea, and 2 weeks later they built it, and all these people would come and given them loads of money, and they were just so aligned that it happened without any effort. I've been aligned. I know that when I was aligned, that's when that voice went, don't put it live, this is a terrible idea. And I was like, thank you.
I know, but do you know what? I see people inside groups saying, I envisaged it on my vision board and nobody bought. And I'm thinking, no, you need to do the work.
A bit more than that. And also, and I did, like, this is the funniest thing is that this current version that I have now, so my main, and then the process I use is mostly connecting with web designers or people who teach web design or people that run a community like yourself. And then they will put people in touch with me because I have something that they need, rather than me running around trying to find all the people on my own. This is the original vision I had when I was freelancing. I had a conversation with a web designer, and he was saying, like, we just give the copywriting to whoever in the office doesn't have a web design project on. And I was like, this is terrible. Like, web designers are doing copywriting. This is a terrible idea. So that was literally like 4 or 5 years ago. So the seed of this idea and the way it's structured now was planted then. But for whatever reason, I had to go through this really massive, long and winding path to get to this point. But I just could, if I could have done it, like just gone from there to here, obviously I would have done that. But there was a lot that I needed to learn along the way. So
this is the thing, isn't it? I mean, the people who say I started a business and 3 months later I made 6 figures, and I'm like, no, you didn't. So that's nonsense. And I much prefer the people who say, well, actually, I've been doing this for 3 or 4 years, and now it's starting to really not turn a corner, but like I've been working, my business is 5 years old, and I started doing the online training bit of it probably, we were in Australia of December 2016, so only a year and 4 months ago I launched my first online courses now, and then it's all transitioned into this. But like, you have to kind of figure out so much stuff to get to this point, so it's taken me about 18 months to get to this point of the online business space. Whereas all the other stuff I was doing before is really more hands-on, working with local businesses. And these people that say, oh yeah, I turn over 6 figures after 3 months of because I created my online course and everyone loved it. And I'm like, no, stop selling that. That's not reality.
And the other aspect of that is, like, firstly, I would say 99% of the time that's not true. And it's really not helpful to people who are just starting out to keep doing messages like that. But the other side of that is, if that is true, so if that's true that they had a great idea, everything just lined up so that it became a massive success, when that bubble bursts, they're screwed. Whereas I know, like, when if this ends, or if I decide I want to do something completely different, I know how this works. I know how to put the business together. I know, I know so much more now than I did 4 or 5 years ago. I have that kind of inner confidence that I've done it once, I could do it again.
Yes, I feel the same, actually.
If I had fluked it and it had been a massive success, that would be nice. But there'd always be that fear, like, this is a fluke and I don't know how to do this again, and it could be taken away at any time. But this isn't a fluke. We've worked to get to this point, and we know what it takes.
Yes, that's so true, because now I meet other entrepreneurs at my workshops and stuff, and then like my brain just goes into overdrive. How can I turn that into what can I do with that business? And it doesn't really matter if it's an online business or an offline business. It's all about finding clients and talking to clients and attracting people and having the right message and stuff and having the right pricing and all those things. It doesn't really matter where your business is. But yes, we have built a business up from the ground up, and we now know how to do that. And yeah, it's good to have that if Facebook shut down.
Don't say that.
We can still build a business.
Take that back.
No, it's not happening. It's not happening. Obviously, it's not happening. No, that's so interesting. Laura, I'm not going to keep you too long. What would be if you could give one piece of advice to somebody who's thinking of starting a business, what would it be?
Read a lot, because there are so many training courses out there and programs that cost a huge amount of money, and you aren't ready for them until you've read the books that cost like £3 that you can buy secondhand.
So true.
I have a rule. So I read, if someone recommends a book anywhere on a thread, if I see the name of a book and anyone said it's good, I just go onto like a secondhand bookshop and I buy it and get it delivered to my house. And my bookshelf is stacked with books that other people have recommended. And I never stop reading like that. There's always something. And it doesn't have to be, it's not always business stuff. I do that for fiction as well, or, just autobiographies. But just keep reading, because, well, first of all, reading helps you write more. So I'm biased.
Very true.
I have to put words in to be able to get more words to come out. So I have to be reading all the time. But it's just a cheap source of information, and it's good quality information. If you've got the opportunity to check reviews before you buy the book. So when you look at a website, there's loads of online content that you can read for free.
Yeah.
But you don't really know if it's any good or not, because it's just there and anyone can publish online. They even let me do it. In a book, you can see the reviews, you can see whether it's something that's worth reading, whether you can trust that author, you can do a bit of background research on the author, and it's just really cheap information, and you won't run out of that kind of information. And usually 9 times out of 10, when someone's trying to sell you a program that is like $1,000, $2,000 a pop, and I'm not saying don't do it, because if I've paid for programs that at the right time are right for my business.
Yes, me too.
Most of the time, that person has already got a book out. So if you read the book first, you'll get a feel for, okay, is there enough in the book for me to get started?
Yeah.
Or, I love the book, now I want to do the program. So read. That was like that really long version. My top tip would be read lots.
Read. When are you and I writing books, Laura?
I don't know. I've got like 3 completely different books in my head.
Yes.
At some point in time, I have to write them.
Yes.
But that's a discipline that I haven't been able to do yet. Like that requires a lot more time and attention than I've been able to give it.
One day we'll go for that.
One day, but I think it's something like you want to do it when you feel like you can't keep it inside any longer. Like you have that compulsion to sit down and write it, rather than thinking, okay, I should do this. Now's the time. I really ought to be writing.
No, you're right. You're right, actually.
So when the mood strikes me, that's when the book's coming.
Okay, great. Okay, where can we find you online, Laura?
So my new domain name, because I've ditched the .co.uk and realised that I do need to have a .com. That was like a painful realisation and moving process. So I'm at writewithworditude.com. And on Facebook, I'm just Worditude, or I think the name says Laura at Worditude, but if you just put Worditude into the Facebook.
If you just Google the word Worditude, you pop up as well.
I'm quite proud of that now.
Yes.
I get a good couple of pages of search results that just relate to me, and so far, like, all good things. So
yeah, that's great. Okay, Laura, thank you so much for joining me today. I've really enjoyed this chat.
I have too. Yeah, I hope people have enjoyed listening to it as much as I've enjoyed jabbering away talking to you.
We'll have to get their feedback. All right, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you.
Bye. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Social Bee podcast. Come and join us over at www.socialbeeni.com and let's start creating a buzz about your business. And if you like what you hear, please pop over to iTunes and leave me a review. I'd really appreciate it. See you next time.